welcome to the first episode of Love Language here at the Plug Network, where I will be coming to you every other Monday talking about love, lust, and life. As a certified relationship coach, I know that the number one thing about love is you. You determine love, whether it's good, bad, or in between. So on this show, we're going to talk about everything: trending topics, relationships, professional relationships, platonic relationships, toxic relationships, and all of the above. We're going to have guests on the show. They experience love their way. And our first guest is no other than Miss DaSheralle Moore, better known as Miss D Talk.
Ow. Hi, everyone. Do I introduce myself?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm DaSheralle Moore, certified sexpert. I'm also a love and relationship coach, but the sex part is my passion. So that's the content that I solely focus on for the most part. And so my two passions are education and sex. And so I just found a way to fuse the two to be able to help people with their sex life, whether it's issues that they're facing currently or goals that they're striving to achieve. I just love helping individuals and/or couples have a better sex life, which we all experience as human beings. So
let me ask you, what made you decide, if you started with relationships, because that's my passion, if you started with relationships and you ended up on the sex train, how did you get on the sex train?
Well, the relationship part and the love part is like a gray area to me, right? Because you have to work at those two things continuously,
right,
to have healthy relationships and healthy love in the relationships, because everybody's definition of love is different, right?
So what comes first, sex or love?
Oh, Jesus, the sex. I might love you due to the sex. I don't know.
See, I would say it's the opposite. I would say love comes first, because if you love somebody and you care about, now you can have sex with any and everybody, but if you love them, then the sex is that much better. Unless you just straight out freaky and can hit in anything.
Okay.
But I feel like the more you love and have more self-love, which we'll talk about more in a little bit, but the more you love altogether makes your sex life better.
Okay, and I've had great sex with people I didn't love, and I've had great sex with people that I love. I like the sex.
But did you like the person that you didn't love?
Yeah, there has to be some type of
attraction, right?
Yeah, some type of attraction. Okay. That's what I'll go with.
Okay.
But the relationship and the love part is so, you have to be ready for those. I think sex for me is an action. It's black and white. And so it's something, before I even got into this, I said education. I love education. So it's almost like math to me. 1 + 1 equals.
You're strategic with your math, your moves. So put your two legs on the one. Okay, anyway. Okay, so when you go out and you tell people that you're a sex expert.
I tell them I'm a sexpert. Because I think people get the sexpert part thinking that I know every single thing there is about sex. I know what the program taught me, right? My certification program.
Right.
So I know all of that content, all of the information that was given to me. I know that, and I have it to refer back to anytime I need to. But there are certain things that I haven't experienced. It's a lot. The sex catalog is
right. Yeah. Still be
to
written.
infinity, right?
Yeah,
so there's no way that I've experienced every single thing, but I'm definitely somebody who will figure it out and have, I feel like, enough resources to get the information so that if I don't know it, we're gonna figure it out. Because
so who responds to you more, men or women?
Women. I think we're more comfortable talking about sex than men. When I first started, I think it caught, I'm gonna say our community, right, off guard. So they were thinking that I was talking about having sex with me.
Oh.
Yeah, so we had to shift it like, no, I'm talking about you and your partner, whoever you want to have sex with, how do you make it better if you want to make it better? But for sure, a lot of women, even though when I look at the members, it's even in my group. However, I see more females providing the feedback than I do males, depending on the topic too. So certain topics cause certain people to participate in the conversation, certain genders.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. So where do you think the female mind goes? Like, do you feel like they're intimidated by you, or do you feel like they feel like this is like an equal opportunity for me to let my sexuality out on a different level?
I don't know. I don't know about the intimidating part. I hope that I've been very welcoming, especially with the group. The group is More D-Talk, and it's a Facebook group that initially started me in this entire process as far as introducing myself. And I set it up in a way where we could have a safe space to talk about sex and have the different kinds of discussions. And so I hope that I've given the welcoming atmosphere that I don't know everything. If you know something, please share it, because I'm also learning from my members.
The only reason why I ask that is because I feel like, from my aspect, from relationship part, a lot of girlfriends, although we seem to be more open sexually, a lot of girlfriends and wives are intimidated by women like yourself, or even me, who are openly talking about ways to save relationships or increase the joy in relationships.
So I think that has something to do with the individual.
Most definitely individual choice.
It has nothing to do with me or you.
Right.
I can't intimidate somebody who is comfortable with having the conversation of sex. I'm not trying to know anyone's business. I don't want to know who you're having sex with, but I definitely want to have an open discussion about said topic.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. I feel like insecurities play a big part in sex. And I feel like, you know, women tend to be more insecure than men. But when we come back from this break, we're going to talk about the insecurities that men play.
Okay.
So we will be back on the Plug Network.
Hi, my name is Renee Unique with Unite Louisville on the Plug Network Online. Check me out every Friday at noon on your lunch break. Stay connected and stay plugged in.
Are you a poet for the people? Illuminating the emotions of those who know what suffering from an unjust system feels like. Everyone doesn't have the opportunity to hold a crowd by the ear, so for us to take on that role with our God-given craft, it's only right. Are you a poet for the people? A destiny meant not for the weak. We too have suffered trials and tribulations, experienced in rebuilding what was once torn down with the words that we speak.
Positive vibes from me to you. I am LaToya with the Toy Box. Join me bi-weekly on the Plug Network Online. That's Monday nights at 7 p.m. ready to do your work. Imagine a world happy, healthy, and healed because you showed up for you. So stay plugged in.
This is Ashley with More Than Rubbing, a massage therapist guide for self-help. Tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Plug Network. Stay plugged in.
Welcome back to Love Language, where we are here with Miss DaSheralle Moore talking about all things sex and more sex, because why not? It's Monday. What else we got to do? So we were talking about insecurities before the break, right? And a lot of times women have some insecurities, or women tend to have more insecurities with their bodies, with trust issues, with a whole vast level of things, right? But there's Nick Cannon has a TV show now, right? And on his TV show, he had this all-male panel, And I know he stole my idea. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But he had this all-male panel, and they were talking about their insecurities during sex. Now, Nick Cannon has 9,000 kids. We are all aware of this, right? However,
He can afford 'em.
He can afford them. So, hey, do you? That's a whole nother show. We're not going to talk about nobody's. Okay. And apparently he's doing something right for him to have 9,000 children. However, he stated first, before anybody else on his panel, that his biggest insecurity during sex is his body. And he said he usually hides under the covers. As much as I boast about being in shape, I don't want anybody seeing my body. Another man on the panel agreed to that and said he is often wrapped up like a Snuggie. Then the third panelist says that he just Winnie the Pooh's it.
What is Winnie the Pooh?
So I had to Google it.
Okay.
Winnie the Pooh is just the shirt,
Okay. All
right?
Yeah.
Everything else comes off but the shirt.
And probably socks.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
socks got to stay on. They probably white or blue. But anyway, I know from my standpoint as a relationship expert, right? I would go through the avenue of that starts with self-love.
Absolutely.
So I would hit it from the avenue of what are you lacking internally with yourself that prevents you from just going all out. Now, I'm not somebody who says let's leave all the lights on and go for what you know and all that. Like when we get to meet kids in the house, if we have lights on, they know we're coming. But literally, but we can't do all that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a lights off girl. I was also a bigger, heavier set in my 20s. So I feel like, you know, I still like to be covered to a certain extent. But to hear a man say that he likes to be wrapped up or in a Snuggie or Winnie the Pooh in it, what would you say in your role to somebody that's like, oh, you can't see nothing. We're just gonna get in and get out. You can't see it though.
Okay. I love that we have men sharing their
Insecurities,
truth.
yes.
And so that just tells me that we all have similar issues, whether male or female. And so what I would highly recommend to not just Nick Cannon, but anybody who feels uncomfortable with their body is walk around nude more often in your house. You know, get comfortable with seeing yourself naked on your own so that when you walk past the mirror, you try to figure out what it is that you might not like, and then you start getting comfortable with being naked. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So you just have to start. So even though I say, you know, I'm not a fan, I'm just not that interested in the love and the relationship coaching part.
Right.
There are things that have a that play into the sexuality part, and that is self-love, because insecurities will affect your sex life if you're not confident in what you're doing or just your own being. And so I think if you walk around without clothes more often, you look in the mirror, look at your body more often to see what is it that you're so uncomfortable with, and then you'll probably start addressing some other issues. But I think I dealt with that when I was younger, you know, not for one, the partners who I was having sex with, I didn't know if I was up to par in comparison to what they had sex with before.
Is that physically or experience?
Physically.
Okay.
Because I feel like as I learn more, it's not that many people who are really that experienced. They might have done more, but that doesn't mean that
more experienced.
you know what you're doing. You just have
true.
more things under your belt that you have done, but that doesn't make you more knowledgeable than somebody who hasn't. If that makes sense. You know, if I could read a book that tells me how to do oral sex, or in comparison to some person telling me how to do oral sex, what's the difference?
Okay.
If it's saying what a man would say to me,
Right.
If the book is saying what a man would say to me verbally, what is the difference from what I'm getting as far as instruction? And I get once you apply it probably will look different, but you can learn more ways than one
This is true.
about sex.
Let's get back to the physical part of it, right? Okay, so
I'm always physical.
so let's talk. Okay, let's use Nick Cannon. Although you know, now growing up, well, he's a little younger than me, but you know, I was a Nick Cannon fan, right? I don't like skinny men, but hey, that's not me. But anyway, so if he's not letting people see the goods, right? What we working with? Like, you can't just not show. Like, you.
I mean,
listen.
they probably felt it. He probably told them, put your hand right here. And that.
I kind of feel like that's not gonna work.
What you need to see?
I need to see what I'm working. Listen, we live in a whole world of you can't feel everything. Everything cannot be. I need to see what you got. You got any bumps, moles, bruises, scarring.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I need to see that.
For sure.
Or I need you to be comfortable enough to say, this ain't what you think it is. This is a scar from 3rd grade where I fell off my bike.
So that could be
versus I'm only 2 inches worth of 5-second pleasure.
Yeah.
You see what I'm like?
Yeah.
There's different extremes. So are we covering up something? Like, it depends on what we're hiding.
Yeah,
but
because I'm thinking,
I feel like you should be comfortable enough to say, I fell off this bike in 3rd grade, so I have this scar running down. Versus this may or may not be a STD, but I don't know. But I'm not gonna let you see it because I really want to hit this. So I'm gonna slide in.
and then when we think about how many kids he have, apparently he's dealing with women who's not really concerned about seeing what he's trying to quote unquote hide.
But no, because it's Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
But if it was Jim Bob down the street, you know, we gonna need to see something.
Yeah.
But we're gonna continue this conversation about insecurities and sex when we come back. Stay plugged in.
Hi, my name is Renee Unique with Unite Louisville on the Plug Network Online. Check me out every Friday at noon on your lunch break. Stay connected and stay plugged in.
Are you a poet for the people? Illuminating the emotions of those who know what suffering from an unjust system feels like. Everyone doesn't have the opportunity to hold a crowd by the ears, so for us to take on that role with our God-given craft, it's only right. Are you a poet for the people? A destiny meant not for the weak. We too have suffered trials and tribulations, experienced in rebuilding what was once torn down with the words that we speak.
Positive vibes from me to you. I am Latoya with the Toy Box. Join me bi-weekly on the Plug Network Online. That's Monday nights at 7 p.m. ready to do your work. Imagine a world happy, healthy, and healed because you showed up for you. So stay plugged in.
This is Ashley with More Than Rubbing, a massage therapist guide for self-help. Tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Plug Network. Stay plugged in.
So we can still get it in, and like I have a time frame.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta get it in before 4 o'clock so I can get a little another hour of sleep, be up by 5 and be on my way.
Okay.
Right? That's how we operate in the house. Like,
Okay.
he know he can do that and we good.
Yeah.
But you gotta get it in that 4 o'clock window.
I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
That's our code, right? We have a code. But I like morning sex just because it can be random. It's not planned. We're not expecting it.
Absolutely.
Yes. but that's just my opinion.
Okay. It feels good. It is an energy booster for me. You know,
I can see that.
Because
Cup of coffee shot, yes.
absolutely, like an espresso shot.
Yes.
So if you having it at night, you know that you have all this time to be able to just, you know, extend it. But then if you know that you gotta get to work and you got somewhere to go, you gonna make it count in those seconds that you are trying to get it in, whether it's before your kids wake up, before you have to get out, or
Before that alarm clock go off, because that's me.
Yeah, so it's what's the Folger saying? It's
The best part of waking up. Yeah, yes.
So I
Yes.
definitely think that morning sex is the best sex. Your stuff has been able to marinate throughout the night. Everybody, you know, it's juicy and hard. It's the best.
Yes. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I was there. Okay.
Okay, good.
Maybe lose my train of thought. Let me come back. Okay, yes. So what advice would you give a couple that is going through a rough patch sexually?
Communicate what you're wanting. And so this is where you have a married couple, so it means that intertwines with the relationship part. So if there's other things going on, you're probably going to have to address those other things that's going on, because if it's, you know, sometimes females can't just say, I'm gonna suck your dick whether we just had an argument or not. You get what I'm saying? Whereas he still wants that regardless of what y'all just argued about, right?
Right.
And so if y'all have other things going on, you're gonna have to address those other things, but I definitely recommend open communication about what you're wanting. So if you can, create certain areas of, okay, this is what we're mad about for this, and then what about the sex part? I don't like, you gotta sometimes keep it separate so that you're not just piling everything in on one thing. Like, okay, because I'm mad at you, I don't want to talk about anything. That's not fair. You have to be able to communicate about other areas of the relationship, and sex is one of them. I should still be able to say, we mad, but I'm still horny, so can we still have sex? And
So before I started the show, I had to ask permission to say what I needed to say on the show openly and freely. So I could say that in my house, if somebody is mad, that ain't going down.
Yeah.
And I feel some type of way.
And it's not because I'm the other person.
Because I feel like you said, you gotta separate the two, right? Like, I could still be mad at you, but
I'm still horny.
I still have needs that I need you to work it out, because in my house, you know, you're the only one I'm gonna see. So it ain't like I can go down the street.
And
so
then,
we gotta have
and
a
then
conversation.
men are not that open to toys, right? Like, we have the luxury of being able to have toys, use toys when those times come when somebody's not around, or even when somebody's around and I'm mad at you. So I can, I have alternatives.
Right.
However, men do not.
They don't have outlet.
They don't even use them for real, except probably masturbation. And if I have somebody, that's not fair. So I've usually been the person, I'm probably more toxic than not. I'm gonna be honest about that, as far as I can be mad and still wanna have sex.
I don't think that's a toxic trait. I think that's just human nature. I don't think that that's toxic. I don't think, because if you're separating the two, your emotions to whatever you're mad to is separate from your desire to have sex with this person.
Yeah.
They're two separate things.
Yeah, so you just have to communicate.
Yeah, you just have to, I don't think that that's toxic. I think that's just us, especially as women, because we can say, believe it or not, this is this box, this is this box, this is this box, and these boxes will not overlap unless I want them to, or something terrible happens and I have to intertwine them. But they, they tend to stay separate.
Yeah, I know. This is what I've learned just from the more I get into it. If you can talk about sex, you can talk about anything, and it's just about, maybe it's security. I don't know what it is, but if it's something that's not going right, I'm going to be able to verbalize it to you and communicate it so that we can address it. And then sometimes when you have great sex, it overflows to being able to discuss other things.
You're open, yes. You become more open in every sense of the word. You can let let it all out.
So your guards sometimes come down when the sex has been good.
And if it's not, then oh well, moving on.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I'm just saying, like sometimes you just, if it's bad, it's bad, and hey,
Yeah,
keep it moving. Yes. Because this is love language. What is your love language?
Sex, baby.
All right.
It's sex.
All right.
I love.
So in my world, can we assume that that's physical touch?
Yes.
Okay.
I love being touched sexually.
I'm just saying, or would that be receiving gifts? What would you classify that under? So, you know, love language is word of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, or receiving gifts.
And see, I could make all of those.
Yes, I'm with you. All of that is equal. So, real quick, where can they find you here in lovely Louisville?
Absolutely. You can find me. My Facebook group name is More D Talk, and we discuss different topics of sex. Instagram is more_D_talk. And then my Facebook business page is More D Talk as well. And I'm also on Twitter, More D Talk. So it's across the board, More D Talk. You can find me.
Well, thanks for staying and talking with me today.
Thank you so much, Mika.
The first episode of Love Language. Stay plugged in.
Hi, my name is Renee Unique with Unite Louisville on the Plug Network Online. Check me out every Friday at noon on your lunch break. Stay connected and stay plugged in.
Are you a poet for the people? Illuminating the emotions of those who know what suffering from an unjust system feels like. Everyone doesn't have the opportunity to hold a crowd by the ears, so for us to take on that role with our God-given craft, it's only right. Are you a poet for the people? A destiny meant not for the weak. We too have suffered trials and tribulations, experienced in rebuilding what was once torn down with the words that we speak.
Positive vibes from me to you. I am LaToya with the Toy Box. Join me bi-weekly on the Plug Network Online. That's Monday nights at 7 p.m., ready to do your work. Imagine a world happy, healthy, and healed because you showed up for you. So stay plugged in.
This is Ashley with More Than Rubbing, a massage therapist guide for self-help. Tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Plug Network. Stay plugged in.